House.
Speaker.
Call in Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Well, the Juries, Jury Service and Protection of Particulars of Jury List Information Amendment Bill is, I guess, one of those bills that does so little it would be very, very difficult to find a reason to oppose it. It's one of those bills that will certainly do absolutely no harm, but I think we could all agree that it will do probably very, very little that is particularly positive either, and that is really reflected in the fact that it was determined that no regulatory impact analysis was required, given that the proposals set out in this piece of legislation are expected to have no or, if any, minor impacts on businesses, individuals or non-for-profit entities. In fact, anybody really in the judicial system in general. If I were to find a reason that I may have some reservations about it, it would be the fact that predominantly it seems to focus on who cannot or may not serve on a jury, when really what we should be doing as a nation is trying to encourage people to participate in the judicial process, to take up their democratic responsibilities, I guess, to participate in the judicial process by being a member of a jury. I personally have been called for jury service on 4 occasions and have yet to make it anywhere near the courthouse. All for quite. Yeah, I accept that. I mean, I would really have liked to been able to participate. The first 2 times I was called up, I was actually studying, and somehow or another they seemed to manage to coincide. The jury service I was called for coincided with exams. The 3rd time, I thought I was going to make it. We got to the day before, and we had a spate of illness at my workplace, and my boss came to me and said, "I'm sorry, I really don't think we can release you for jury service." And we had this flurry of activity where we contacted the local court and managed to get me excused. And on the 4th occasion was actually immediately after the 2008 election, and my very recent election as a Member of Parliament precluded me from being able to take up jury service. So I am, as an individual who would like to participate, I think we should find more opportunities and encourage people to participate in the judicial process. But of course, 2 out of 3 of the main provisions of this legislation actually, one is to preclude those people who have been sentenced to home detention for a period that is more than 3 months, and that's a perfectly legitimate, and you know, Labor supports that provision in the bill as a perfectly legitimate thing to do, but it is removing the opportunity for some of our citizens to be able to participate in jury service, and it offers the opportunity, and it is just an opportunity, for those aged over 65 to excuse themselves from jury service also. And there would be perfectly legitimate reasons why someone who is over 65 would like to take up that opportunity, and we support it. But I do make note of the fact that these are 2 provisions that actually potentially reduce the pool of people who are available for jury service in New Zealand, when we already know that really not enough people are taking up the opportunity to participate in jury service in the way that they should. The 3rd item in this legislation that I'm sure the whole House will support is the protection of jurors' information, and we have had examples of why this is important, of recent occurrence, in fact, in New Zealand, and I think that is something that potentially could encourage people to take up jury service, knowing that there will be greater protection of their information. Of course, not absolute or guaranteed protection of their information. There are other ways that people could find out jurors' personal details, but in this case, Parliament is doing what it can, I think, to provide and afford the protection that is possible to people who are serving on juries. And of course, that will be important in encouraging people to participate in trials which may be of a particular nature, where the people involved may have very strong feelings. There may be malicious intent towards jurors, and it's important to give people, ordinary citizens who take up that role, as much protection as we are able to. As I said, Mr. Speaker, really this is a fairly minor bill. One suspects just something that the government is pushing through the House to say that it is acting in the area of law and order, that it's tough on crime, or whatever other sound bites that it would like to use. Not a bill that will do an awful lot, but certainly nothing that will be detrimental, and for that reason alone, the Labour opposition is prepared to support it.
I call David Clendon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.